Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristin.
And this is I'm watching Desperate Housewives, Season 1, Episode 22.
Goodbye for now.
Okay, Susan has made up with Mike, and she's moving in with him.
He's moving in with her.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
They're moving in together.
We should move in together. Come on, what do you say?
Hold that thought.
Yikes. So fast. Like, obviously, Edie's motivations for having that intervention are nefarious, but, like, her reasoning is sound.
Well, because when last we checked in, Edie was like, I won't date him. I'm going to fuck him, though.
Yeah.
So, presumably, she's moving forward with that plan. Sure. And Susan has...
While, in the meantime, really negging the, like, foreman at the...
Cyrus.
At the site of her new house.
I was wondering if, maybe... I could, take you out to dinner sometime.
Oh, honey, you are so far out of your league that you're playing a completely different sport.
She was just keeping him in his place, getting him ready, to which she goes over to begin her seduction with Mike, and Susan's already there and gloating.
Yeah.
And this, I think, checks in with you were very unconvinced on Edie's take if they had been in high school together, where she called Susan the cheerleader and Edie was like, and I was the loner, the weirdo.
It checks out now.
I was like, we get a nice helping of it.
But also, like, tell me why Edie is the only sexually fulfilled woman on this fucking cul-de-sac, because she was fucking the weirdos. She was fucking the absolute weirdos.
Susan lays it on thick. Edie bows out, and Susan goes out of her way to lay it on thicker.
I was just rude back there gloating and everything, and I apologize.
Well, thank you, Susan.
And on a completely unrelated topic, Mike and I are moving in together. See ya.
It's a Susan special, but
because
it's not the vibe.
Too, is when you gloat for stuff like that, then when it inevitably blows up in your face, you are even more embarrassed. And you would think that Susan was on the verge of dying from embarrassment at any moment.
So much more. So Edie, and this is one of the weeks where she's at the poker game.
Yeah.
Decides that, well, again, you're right. Like how did you phrase it?
Well, the intentions behind her plan are nefarious, but her reasoning is sound. Her reasoning behind getting them all revved up about like how Mike is maybe still not a good guy and Susan's rushing into this. That's sound. That makes sense.
And she does point out that there are still, because we got a nice and tidy explanation for one of the mysteries surrounding him, but we didn't get an explanation for the bullet or
like his gunshot wound or Mrs. Hoover's jewelry in his toolbox because the twins found it.
Why did he went to see Felicia Tillman? Oh, well, he saw Paul drop off a box.
Yeah.
And why did he
was like, he's been like missing for like a while. And he went to her because he was like, I'm pretty sure you think that I killed your sister, but I didn't. And so it was kind of like an air clearing, but also the script said so, and he needed to be in a conversation with
they're on the
Felicia.
same page, Mike and Felicia, and they both want to, or they both want to kill Paul or have Paul come to dying somehow. And Paul is only, well, he is seemingly leaving, but he left a box of stuff for Zach, and it was a note to meet him at the baseball field. And Felicia does give Mike Martha's journal.
Yeah. Because it says that Paul was blackmailing, or that Martha was blackmailing Mary Alice.
And then Susan finds it, and of course, especially with...
forces Julie to read it again.
Okay, next time I won't bring my daughter to stalk my boyfriend. It was a slight error in judgment.
She didn't force her this time.
Well, she gives it to her.
She did read it, yeah.
And then determines that she needs to spy on him. So she brings Julie out, following him around, and she loses him.
Yeah. And it interrupts a couple having sex.
All right, what the hell are you up to? Oh my God. Wow. Okay. Oh, wow. Bye.
And the man is so mean because the woman is like,
was that your wife?
If that was my wife, do you think I'd be here with you?
that woman was gonna put your dick in her mouth. Watch it.
She's not anymore.
Probably not.
So Lynette is in the finding out stage of her arc because she got involved a few weeks ago with Tom was going to get a promotion, and she basically talked. Well, she did
it in a roundabout way. She didn't like the boss was like, she begged my wife, but it was Lynette just was like, it's going to be hard not seeing him around and stuff. Like, I'm so excited for the promotion, but like she talked around it so that the wife was like, don't give it to Tom.
Mm-hmm.
But now the guy that originally had the heart attack is not coming back, and it's because he had another episode, I get like another heart attack or a heart episode or something. And so the fucking boss gave it to Annabel. I also think that that's a mediocre idea. Like, and also he is making bad decisions. Tom is correct to call him out because, like, why are you making decisions for your company based on the desires of the wife of one of your employees? That shouldn't factor into who's the best person for the job. I mean, it's like, obviously Lynette can't have him being away more often, but also Annabel is trying to take Tom to Hawaii. Disgusting.
I don't like her.
No.
And I mean, I know that that's by design, but I'm the type that does frequently like piece of work villain female characters.
No, but she's going too hard at it. I think it's kind of that problem that we talk about a lot with the 90s and the early 2000s, where she's like a strong female character, but the rest of these women are actually strong female characters. And so watching her be essentially a man, a woman that's written as a man, is not helpful.
I do like Annabelle in regards to Lynette, though, because I think it is interesting watching Lynette be able to handle her, and Lynette is not afraid to step to her.
Yeah.
Oh, you're becoming a regular fixture around here, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. I wanted to do something nice for Dugan.
I suppose filling his bloodstream with butterfat might be considered nice.
Actually, it's fruit juice sweetened. Can I cut you a piece?
And I think it does betray that Lynette is right, that she does have ulterior motives, and Tom is oblivious to them.
I liked how it worked out, and I also liked that when Lynette goes out to lunch with her like old company friend, she's trying to get Tom a new job, and it's very clear that of the two of them, Tom is worse at working. Because the lady was like,
are you thinking of coming back? Because say the word, and I
No, not me. I was actually thinking more about Tom.
Oh, Tom.
oh, okay. And then she's like, well, there is a shark. And so she basically gets Annabelle an offer at another firm, which then she immediately tells her boss about. Maybe it's just because I'm not a shark in the workplace. I would just peace out and take the higher offer.
Well, Annabelle doesn't want to leave because she's still in the middle of...
I know. So anyway, she tells Peterson and
again, I mean, from we're seeing all of this from Lynette's perspective. From Annabelle's perspective, she might be justified. I mean, we only saw a quick flashback.
Yeah, but Lynette is we do know that she helped him cheat, and that's not great. But Lynette is our entry point to the story, so she is the one we sympathize with. So instead, Peterson gave her a raise and the VP position that was supposed to go to the Dugan guy, and Tom freaks out at Peterson and is like, literally, what the hell? How she's been here for like 2 days. Like, how did you do this? And that's when he admits that it was because Lynette begged his wife to not do it. I mean, Tom's going to get super mad at Lynette, but I'm kind of on Tom's side with regards to Peterson. Doesn't seem like the right way to be making business decisions. So... And also, why are they so understaffed that you have to just like make an immediate last minute trip to Hawaii? That seems crazy.
So it did end with Tom quitting / being fired / leaving. Yeah. And we did not see him and Lynette interact.
Not yet. I'm sure it's going to happen in the finale.
Yeah. I like Bree and I like Bree's story, but this is a bit of a trying bump in the road.
Look, I don't want to talk details about my sex life in public. However, if somehow it got out to my circle of acquaintances that I liked BDSM,
you can't get over
she's humiliated to the point where she leaves her husband having an active heart attack, just waiting while she makes the bed and puts on a Chanel suit.
Daddy says he's having a heart attack.
I know. I'm going to take him to the hospital.
Well, when?
When I finish making the bed.
What?
I never leave the house with an unmade bed. You know that.
So I always read it as her psyche kind of fracturing a little bit at that point.
I guess, but it's like...
Because Bree does sort of... as the series goes, they do... Like, they stay a unit, but they do start to, like, venture down
their lives.
Yeah, down these archetype paths.
Yeah.
And Bree does get a little bit Jane Austen with some of her, like... I don't even know if Jane Austen is the one to...
Again, it's not something I'm purposefully putting out into the world, but if it were to come out, I could just never be that embarrassed as she is.
Sure. And also, there are nothing but clues that
George is doing.
George is up to no good.
He's orchestrating this entire thing.
She is being so oblivious with him. And again, I can allow it to work because she's in a fantasy. I mean,
sure.
she's disillusioned with the route her real life has taken, and so I think she's living vicariously, but I think she's acting out a little bit. Like she's acting out a fantasy with George.
Who gets a full erection at the mini golf course.
And she's just ignoring so many red flags because he's now breaking. He has been tampering with
but now
Rex's medicine.
Now they've gone to another doctor, so presumably they've gotten it filled at another pharmacy. So he has broken into their house to switch out the pills that might start working.
Mm-hmm. And that's where he found... because he snooped and he found evidence.
He laid out her underwear and stockings and took just a photo of them lying on the bed.
Very 1 hour photo.
Yeah, but like also just steal the underwear.
I couldn't think of a way to make the joke work, but I was gonna make a joke about how he found a box of their milk and toast. You could see where there were the pieces of a joke. but no, yeah, she is beside herself at the humiliation. But also, again, I will sort of defend the plot in the show because she's been through a lot.
Yeah, but there is also then further to that zero humiliation because Rex didn't actually tell anybody anything. It's just George stirring up shit.
That's actually, yeah.
So she's humiliated for no reason. She's humiliated, and if she...
Because at least previously she was seeing people respond, react to them.
Yeah, I don't.
But...
And if she had, like, one... And that's the thing. I mean, on the one hand, she did admit that she doesn't trust Rex, which is, like, good. But on the other hand, it's like, if she had 1 ounce of trust in Rex, she would have realized that, like, George was lying about something. Sick friend in this side of the town. Bullshit.
So, and I did appreciate Danielle's presence in this episode because Rex is just waiting on the stairs, presumably still having a heart attack, while Bree is getting ready. Yeah. And Danielle's sort of like,
what's wrong?
I'm having a heart attack.
Oh my God, where is she?
That's a good question.
That's a good question. So she makes the bed and then takes him to the hospital.
Crazy.
And so Gabby figured out.
Well, they got a letter from insurance because Carlos ordered an entire year of the birth control pills, which insurance will not cover. And
he's still blaming it on his mother.
Yeah.
Like he's completely letting his beloved dead mother take the fall for this.
Unreal.
And Gabby was astute enough to recognize that the date that it was filed was when Juanita was in the coma. Yeah. So
I told you it was my mom.
The prescription was dated, Carlos, and Juanita was in a coma when this claim was filed. You did this, not your mother. At least be man enough to own up to it. She would have been.
So she decides that she's leaving him.
Yep.
I don't know how much I don't know how much I believe her. I wonder if she was actually leaving him in that moment. I'm not sure.
Well, she said that's why I only packed one bag.
Yeah.
Because I know you're going to prison tomorrow.
Yeah. But
the other thing, though, is I fully believe, I believe she would leave him for that. Because, like, it's just totally unacceptable. I can't keep saying it. It's the worst thing he's done. Although the hate crimes are pretty bad too.
Okay, but those are only circumstantial hate crimes.
They are circumstantial hate. They're not on purpose hate crimes. But
because he has now beaten up a second gay man.
So basically, she does.
You can't be married to a literal supermodel and freak out anytime she has a gay male friend.
Well, he can't tell they're gay. He has no concept because she's the one who was like.
You remember when our cable guy was beaten up? That was me. I thought you were cheating with him.
With our gay cable guy?
I didn't know he was gay. And I didn't know Justin was either. Now the cops think I'm some kind of serial gay basher.
Well, you sort of are.
So anyway, she does unfortunately blow her whole wad as she's driving away and say, "Who says you're the father?"
Okay. I think that's a little bit what I was getting at with the whole I can't decide how serious she was. Because that is in character for Gabby to say things just to make him mad.
Sure. But I do feel like you have to gauge the level of anger it's going because he leaves the house and so he gets
he steals
Edie's car. So he breaks his house arrest, he does a grand theft auto, and then he
drives to Giles's apartment
and beats up Justin.
Think just because you mow my lawn you can bang my wife?
Just kicks the shit out of him too. Like I feel like when he goes down after one punch, you can stop.
I
mean, and you shouldn't even punch the first time either. Whatever. But yeah, so the cops are like right on his tail, and so they get there while he's beating up Justin and arrest him, and then we find out that he could, because it's his second offense beating up a gay man. He might be.
He's looking at a minimum of like 8
years for a hate crime.
So he's trying to get Gabby to lie to the cops by saying that she was having an affair.
Yeah.
Which, if I were her, I would do because it just muddies the waters.
It does. Yeah, you're right. I would be like, yeah, of course I was having an affair.
I'll take any and every opportunity to make this as clear as mud.
Yeah. But she does leave him in there, and I mean, he was going to be in jail by now anyway, so I think he's just staying. For the
and I've also I've acclimated to a lot of the fashion.
Those boots.
It was insane. That's what I started to say.
Because the top of her outfit was great.
Well, I started to make a comment that some of the clothes were evening out, and then I was like, maybe I'm just getting used to them. Yeah. And I was like, I think that they were getting better, but then when she walks out in those snakeskin boots, I was like, ah.
Because they looked patchy too. They looked like there was patchwork involved.
It was, ugh. So that
is largely it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was good. It's a good one.
Did we have anything with the central mystery?
No,
really.
I mean, so Mike
just moving things around.
Mike did end up there with Paul, and he really hit him, and then I was a little confused because I was like, does he think that Paul killed Deirdre, or is this just because Paul is potentially framing Mike that he was so angry?
I remember finding that actually we'll expound upon it in the next episode. But that was something that I did enjoy about the show, is because I remember watching this the first time and the end of the first episode or second episode of me being like, I know exactly what happened.
Oh, yeah.
And there's so many places where it just the mystery is there. There's just a missing piece connecting the dots. And I think that's interesting, where it's like we mostly know, or we think we know what's going on, but something is still, because Mike attacking Paul that viciously.
Yeah. He just like lays
from
him out
your
on that
perspective, you're
field.
like, well, this part doesn't fully check. So
Yeah.
there is still a layer
yeah.
that is not explained. And I remember liking that. It's not the same as the answer in plain sight.
Yeah.
But I do find
Well, they must be involved in the Deirdre thing somehow, because it was their toy chest that her dismembered body was found in, wasn't it? I mean, maybe. It was an identical toy chest that her dismembered body was found in.
Well, that imp made he only made a certain number, and we know he wrote it down. So
oh man.
So okay. Well, we're gonna take that and go.
Bye.
So got one more.